Good day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we will be looking at the race meeting at the Vaal Racecourse today, the 22nd of April. And we have a 9-race card, 1 maiden plate, and 8 handicaps. So let us look at the card. We kick off with race 1, which is a maiden plate over 1450. We're racing on the Vaal Classic course. Let's have a look at the betting. The betting is as follows. Number 2, Trying Times, 14 to 10. Castle Corner, 5 to 1. Prince Al, 4 to 1. Grace from Above, 8 to 1. 12 to 1. Enema Code, Pinner, 10 to 1. Trust the Fire, 16 to 1. And longer the rest. So here, my first selection is number 1, Castle Darrow. Castle Darrow is coming from a Castle Corner. It's coming from a short rest, 110 days. Now, I don't know what happened with this horse in his last race, but before that, he ran some useful races against the likes of Nachi and Dr. Doolittle. And based on that, surely I give him a chance. I think coming back to the 1450 first after the rest will certainly suit this horse. The Gawaya on board. Then for my outsider selections, I went for numbers 4 and 5. The 4 is Prince Alf. Prince Alf is also a horse that has run a few places, has got Gavin Arena on board, +1. And I think that Prince Alf will certainly make his presence felt. I just want to quickly check here. I see now that this is a maiden handicap. Yeah, that's definitely a huge factor in weight. Because here you have a horse like Trust the Fire, which is my other outsider selection, only carrying 53. And I think that will also bring him in the race. I see he's currently at 16 to 1. I find that hard. Maybe it will be a good, nice each way bet to take early. Because certainly I think Trust the Fire will definitely be one of the horses running on at the end of the race. And then we have number 2, Trying Times, who has run improved races in his last 2 races, getting a kilogram from the top selection. We then move on to race number 2, where the selection is it's an all-to-come classified stakes over 1,000 meters, Class D, average meter rate at 67. Yeah, certainly these classified races is sometimes difficult to find the winners. And here we have number 5, La Greta, 7-2, After Hours, 6-1, See You Tiger, 7-1, Hear the Trumpet, 7-1, Green Hill, 8-1, 10-1, Justice Reach, Look to the Sky, 8-1, Blow Me Down, 14-1, 16-1, Jam Fancy, and 60-1, and Better the Rest. Now here, I just want to quickly, my first selection is number 4, See You Tiger. As you can see here, number 4, See You Tiger, at one stage had a merit rating of 94. He's now down to a current merit rating of 71. So he's dropped more than 23 points. That's 11.5 kilograms. And I think today in this race, he's certainly handicapped to run a big race. He has been struggling, but the Paul Matchett stable is on form. And, his horse has run against some decent opposition. Here you can see he ran against the likes of Shea Bella, My Queen again, Mind Reader, Country Square won again the other day. Then he ran behind Estelle. So I think in this field, definitely in with a huge chance. Then we're going to have a look. While I'm here, here's the favorite, number 5, La Greta. Also ran a nice race last time, going from start to finish, beating Zodiac Princess. That was on a 66. Now running in a 67. So it's plus minus the same class over the same distance. So certainly must have a chance again. My outsiders in this race is numbers 10 and 11. 10, Green Hill. Green Hill won his maiden last time out, but this given a green light filly by Daniel Dancer Me, I think he has got scope for improvement and can certainly be a horse involved in the finish. Then number 11, Dalgeta Bay. I don't know, last time out it stumbled into, so that is based in before that, run a decent race after the maiden. And I think this Oratora filly by a Vame, also the type of horse that can be involved in the finish. And we move on to race number 3, where we have a filly's a mare's handicap 89 over 1200 meters. Here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Greens 33 to 10, Percy Cup 72, Dubai Princess 4 to 1, Anne Browner 9 to 2, Kayla's Chap 8 to 1, Little Rain 8 to 1, Sheer Talent 9 to 1, and Lady of Liberty 43 to 1, scratch number 9. And here in race 3, my first selection is number 3, Greens, Gavin Arena for Paul Peters. And yeah, this horse has been running against some stiffer opposition than his meeting here. Here he ran in a 90 behind Anna Capri, Mulela, Sweet Sensation, all of them reasonable horses. Rios Winter, I think, is a future placed horse. Mind Reader, I think, is one of the more improved horses in Gauteng at the moment. And I think in this field, number 3, Green Sleeves, must have a huge chance. In my outsider selections, there's number 1 and number 4. Here's number 4, Sheer Talent. Sheer Talent also from the post match at stable. He ran, I think, he won 4 races in a row earlier last year, around about September. And then they've tried him at various different distances. But I think this horse is rather best over 1,200 meters. Here he ran secondary in Shaybella in a 98 handicap. And last time out, I did fancy him again, also in a stronger field. Now a little bit down in class. And surely I think number 4, Sheer Talent, is one of the horses can be involved in the finish here, as is number 1, Anne Boylan, Paul Peter, Warren Kennedy. I think maybe ignore the last run, but also in strong company. It says here not striding out. Has been running 4th behind Sheer Talent in August last year, then come off a rest. And I think Anne Boylan ready to run a nice race today. And then certainly you must also have a look at number 8, which is Persica. It's the Simpson Grey stable. He's on form. And this horse also runs again, stiff opposition. And I think Kumala on board, certainly a danger to most of the horses in this race. Then we go to race number 4. It's a fillies and mare 76 handicap over 1,200 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here we have number 2, Dautora 33 to 10, Cloris 9 to 2, Zodia Princess 5 to 1, Lucy in the Sky 5 to 1, the Villa Grand 6 to 1, 15 to 2 Afternoon Tea, Java House 16 to 1, Oksana 40 to 1, and 25 to 1, and longer the rest. So here in race 4, my first selection is the number 4. Race 4 is number 12. And that is the Villa Grand. The Villa Grand is a willow magic, and I do like those horses by Cahill Man. This horse has been improving. Today, get the services of Josh Solomon, minus 1.5, only carrying 52 from draw 1. But okay, remember on over the 1,200 meters, the 1,200 meters is around the bend, not down the straight. So certainly number 1 draw. Here you see I ran about also some useful opposition, Rapid Fire, Emerald Crest, Celestial Love. I think after this run, that Celestial Love has won another 2 races, including a future race. So that is also very strong form. You can see there behind Emerald Coast, 12 runners, 3 wins, 7 runners, 1 win, 6 runners, 1 win. And I'm thinking the Villa Grand today can run a useful race here in number 4. My outsider selections is number 5, Java House, also horse getting minus 2.5. I'm not sure last time out it says yeah, something I missed, not persevered with. But before that, I ran also some useful races, and I do feel a 3-year-old that can still improve coming off a short rest. And certainly, I think did on a maiden beat the Villa Grand, but the Villa Grand is now obviously has got a weight turnaround in her favor. The Villa Grand is now carrying 52, and Java House is carrying 58 minus 55.5. So there's a 2.5 kilogram swing in favor of the Villa Grand. Then my other outsider selection here in this race is number 8. Afternoon Tea. Afternoon Tea is also a horse that has early in a career showed some promise, but as an in and out sort. But I've got a feeling that today this powerful filly can run a much improved race. Then there's just one horse I want to point out, number 6, Oksana. Do include this in all of your play, your pick sixes, quartets, everything, because this horse, I think, has got some ability, but sometimes she battles to get it together. But today might just be one of those days where she decides to run, and you might land up, you might land up feeling sorry should she win or place, and you don't have her in your play. Definitely not a certainty, but there's a type of horse that you do want to include. So she performed. She's currently 14-1 in a betting that you do have into your calculations. Then move on to race number 5. Race number 5 is a fillies and mares 72 handicap over 1600 meters. Here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Ideal Angel 4-1, Magic Maple Sugar 92, Undertour 92, Galaxy Raiders 5-1, 13-2 Golden Spoon, Louvain 12-1, Mo 12-1, Emmeline 16-1, scratch number 10, Soul of Wit. Now here in race 5, my first selection is the number 4 horse. Louvain is now here carrying running on a D71, but has been running on lately in all of her last races. Also won here the Vaal Classic course over 1450, beating So They Say. Now today she's going 1600 meters, but I don't think the extra 150 would bother her, because as you can see, she will be running on at the end. And I think Louvain really a strong contender in this field. In my outsider selections is numbers 2, Golden Spoon. Golden Spoon, not really a big outsider. He's 13-2 in the betting, but also a horse that's well bred. Nearly pulled it off behind Evening Mist, and last time out ran 1.2 behind Dark Vision. And I think, maybe the jockey just went a little bit too soon, and over the 1600 meters, shown a little bit more patience. And I'm thinking Golden Spoon can be one of the contenders when the photos are taken come the end of the race. In my other outsider selections is number 7, Galaxy Raiders. This is an act of war, and how these act of wars are running is amazing. This is by Kalmir. This was ran behind Golden Spoon, and then came out, and there was money for the horse back from 7-1 to 5-1, and easily won against Fort Snow. Fort Snow has come out and franked that form. So therefore, I think Galaxy Raider also surely in with a huge chance in this race. And also a horse that you need to want to look at is number 6, Undertour. Definitely a horse that has also got a chance not to be excluded out of your calculations. As well as number 1, Ideal Angel, who won easily, has got Warren Kennedy on board again, and can also follow up on that run. So certainly a bit of an open race here, race 5. Then we move on to race number 6. It's another classified stakes over 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is number 1, Atomic Blonde 28-10, Shushka 33-10, Roger the Dodger 9-2, Funky Music 11-2, Sitting Bull 13-2, Silver Mufti 16-1, and Longer the rest. Here in race 6, my first selection is the number 5 horse, Roger the Dodger. If you want, you can take this piece double. I haven't worked it out, but I also tipped them in the previous race. Roger the Dodger is the captain of all by Spectrum, who won his first race at the Vaal Classic course. 1 run, 1 win. but now going a bit further. But this horse hasn't had a lot of runs. Last time I came off a race from December and ran behind Zilzal in an 18-9 handicap. Now today, in finding himself in an ease 65. And surely this horse, based on that 4.5 lengths behind Zilzal, although it was a small field, certainly the horse ran above his rating, that I'm very sure of 62. So I think Roger the Dodger, a huge runner in this field. Then for outsider selections, we're going with number 2, Funky Music. Funky Music is also nicely handicapped, has had a stable change recently, and did run nice behind Evening Rise. And before that, behind Anaturia, was also not a bad run, and has run against some stronger, a little bit stronger. But I say a change is as good as a holiday, and I do feel that with the stable change, Funky Music are ready to perform in this race. Definitely a horse not to be left out. And also Sitting Bull. Sitting Bull is a horse that was going nowhere and then joined the St. John Gray stable and has slowly but surely improved, winning a maiden last time out. But I think, it's tough for a horse to win direct out of the maidens. But for me, the Lyle Hewitson booking is a bit significant. It can be that this horse has got still some improvement to do, so include in all of your play. And also have a look at number 6, Shakura, the favorite. Josh Solomon's on board, getting a -1.5. Also run an improved race last time out behind Natura. But before that, had a bit of in and out form, so one is not sure whether this horse will carry on his form. We will have to wait and see. Then we move on to race number 7, which is a Phyllis Amaze 91 handicap over 1,600 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 5, Peyton Steer 16-10, Castellano 7-2, Sultana 5-1, Ulate 8-1, Irish Wonder Girl 10-1, Dynastic Light 12-1, Invincible 12-1, and 22-1, and longer the rest. And here in this race, my first selection in race 7 is number 1, which is Castellano. Although we have a favorite, the favorite being numbers 5, Peyton Steers. But Castellano has run again far better opposition than she's meeting in this race here today. And I think that she can follow up in her last race where she beat Futuria Lady. Although the 1,600 meters is a little bit 150 meters longer than last time she won, I think she will be definitely up to this. Then my outsider selections is number 7, which is Invincible. Now, if you look at Invincible has come down in immediate ratings, run against some useful opposition in your time. And I'm sure one of these days, this lady is going to strike form and definitely run up to her ability and can cause a huge upset. And maybe today can be that day. In my other outsider selections is number 9 as well. Sultana has been running good races, did win 3 in a row earlier, and then run some fair races, but can also be a contender in this race. And then the favorite Peyton Steers did surprise last time the way she won easily at 12-1, but one will have to see if she can follow up on that form. Definitely a contender, but in my eye, not the price that she's currently at, and also not a pick 6 banker. Then we get down to the classified stakes, race 8 over 1,600 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Dawn of a New Era, 7-2, Oyster King, 7-2, Dark Vision, 9-2, Zabayet, 11-2, Tartan Dancer, 11-2, Evening Rise, 7-1, 15-1, Scratch, and 18-1, and better the rest, Scratch number 6, Mantiboa. So Mantiboa, whatever. Now, here my first selection, number 5, Tartan Dancer again, and Lyle Hewitson from draw 1. This horse doesn't always run 2 good races in a row, but the way that she ran on last time out behind Evening Rise, I think that this for race 5 this extra 100 meters will make a difference. And I think in Tartan Dancer, certainly a huge contender in this race. Outsiders selections, number 4, Evening Rise, won 2 of her last 3 runs, getting the -1.5. I think will be there when the photos are taken. And then my other outsider connection is number 7, Drummers Dude. Always a horse, also a horse who runs in and out. Maybe today is the day that he runs a forward race. So do include in all of your bests. And then let's have a look at number 1, which is the favorite. Also, I think in Gavin Arena in with a huge chance. I see Gavin Arena is riding a few horses with chances today. He might pick up 1 or 2 winners, maybe the jockey to follow for the day. And we get down to race number 9, which is a 2,000 meters fillies and mere 71 handicap. And here the betting is as follows. Number 3, Sensor Scene 17-10, Mirren 7-2, 8-1, Smile River, Electric Boots 10-1, 10-1, Sophia's First, Mazzari 14-1, Zenex 16-1, 16-1, Flying First Class, 12-1, Gypsy Magic, Perfect Passion, 25-1, and longer the rest. So here in this race, my selection is number 10, and that is Flying First Class. You can totally ignore the last run was against some strong opposition, slow, lost 1 length. But in the Silvano by Jetmaster Me, fully, I really like the looks of this horse. Last time out, before that, behind Gul Belka, nearly upset there, the 40-1. She was my outright selection for that race. And at the end of the day, ran second, paying 10 rand a place. So for the guys who followed my selection, certainly they picked up a bit of money. But I think in Flying First Class back in a type of a handicap that she can run against the own class. I think today Flying First Class will definitely be running on strongly and can be a contender in this field. And for outsider selections, I'm going for number 2, Smiley River. This horse is also sometimes there and thereabouts. Hopefully today she can also crack it, run against a little bit strong opposition. Last time out in the race behind, she's a cracker. Now also down in class, Gavin Arena on again, definitely want to put in all of your selections. Then number 8, Sophia's First, is a maiden, but it's a maiden in a handicap. And being a handicap, I'm thinking, the amount of wins is certainly not a factor. I has run against the like of seen, and now getting 4 kilogram from that one, and ran second to Perfect Passion. Also Perfect Passion in this race has had a stable change, but I think maybe include Sophia's First. The other day I made a comment in my video that about handicapping, and I said that trainers should look at placing their horses in E-division companies, their maidens, because sometimes these E-divisions is less stronger than a maiden plate. And certainly here is an example of number 8, Sophia's First, exactly doing that. And just have a look at number 3, which is Senicene. Senicene has won 2 races in a row and then got beaten behind Cool Belka. So Flying First Class actually finished in front of that horse. That day was carrying, Senicene was carrying 58, and Flying First Class was carrying 54 minus 4, so it was only carrying 50. So certainly there is a weight turnaround, but I think Flying First Class will be one of the horses being there when the photos are taken. So that brings us to the end of my preview. I hope I point you in the right direction for a few winners, and as I always say, break a leg.